Hi guys, welcome to the latest tutorial from Macsi website design. My name is Colin Hall and today I am going to teach you some very basic HTML. This tutorial is aimed pretty much at a very low user level. We'll be teaching the very basics of HTML, the HTML document structure, a little bit about HTML characters and a little bit about styling. If you're new to web design, then this is really perfect for you, so stick around. The first thing that I'm going to touch on today is the use of a text editor. Now, a lot of people, when they come to web design, look at what is known as a what you see is a what you get editor. There are a lot of disadvantages to using it. The best one on the market at the moment is Dreamweaver. You'll pay a lot of money for it, but it will hinder you if you want to become a website developer. The reason why is because you basically don't have to learn any code. You can just drag and drop things in, and when something goes wrong, then you'll find it very difficult to change it because you don't really understand the basics of the HTML syntax. Now, the HTML syntax is not hard. XHTML, which we'll be using today, is probably less than 100 tags, and of which you'll use on a frequent basis. You're probably looking at around about 20. So it's not really a difficult thing to learn. So I would really recommend that you really learn the syntax of HTML rather than using what you see is what you get editor. So the text editors that we tend to use in the office, the first one we have is called Sublime Text 2. It's quite a new offering to the market. It's in beta, so the developers are constantly developing and improving it. You can download it for free as a beta, and then if you use it for any commercial products, then you should really purchase a license for that. The other one we use in the office, and one we've used for many years, is called TextMate. This is the one we'll be using today. It's a very solid editor that we use in the office. It's one that we really like using. So that's the basics of text editors. Now I'll show you quickly the folder structure I have set up. We've got a HTML tutorial folder. In there we have two blank documents. The first one is called style.css, and the second is called index.html. We've also got the login, which we'll be using in the tutorial at some point. We don't need to worry about that. So if I just quickly fire up TextMate, as you can see, it opens it up automatically, blank document. So I'll just close that. And what you want to do is you want to file open the HTML tutorial folder, and what TextMate will then do is it will open it up as a project. So it will list all your files down the project bar here on the left hand side. And it's just a very easy way of accessing all your files. So if we click on index.html, you'll see that will quickly open up the index.html file, and style.css will also open up there. So back to HTML. Now browsers over the years have got pretty clever, and they can pretty much output whatever you type in the document. So if you quickly put is here in our index.html document, go to Chrome, in towards the index file. So if I just quickly refresh the browser, you can quickly see there that it just outputs whatever we put into the file. HTML has a document structure, so it should be constructed in a way that is set by the standards by W3C. So what they state is that we should always start our documents with a doc type. So I'm quickly putting doc type in. This is in TextMate. It will give us a list of available document types. The one I'm going to be using today is just the XHTML1 transitional. So if I hit on there, you can see that the text editor quite neatly outputs for us the syntax for the doc type. Underneath the doc type, we should be declaring the HTML tags. Again, if I just type HTML tab, our text editor very kindly brings up a few options. Now, within TextMate, you can create custom functions or custom bundles. So when I type HTML and hit tab, I get a list. You can see one is called call HTML. This is one that I've personally set up just to make the development of websites quicker. So if I just hit on there, you'll see that I'll pre-populate with just some basic information. As you can see, I'm using shortcuts. The text editor you're using may not have shortcuts, so if you want to follow along and do this tutorial as I'm doing it, then you may want to pause the video at points and type out what the text editor is quite quickly put in for me. But for time, this is how I'm going to do it today. So within the HTML element, we've got two main tags that are required. The first one is called the head tag. Within the head tag, you are declaring your meta information. You are setting your title, your description, your keywords. You're linking JavaScript files. You're linking CSS files. So that is what the head tag's job is within the document. And the second one we're going to use is called the body tag. Now this is where you will put all the, I'll just get rid of all this because we don't need it. This is where we put all of your display information. So what you want the browser to display out, this is where you'll put it. So if we go back across to the browser and then hit the refresh button, you can see that it's not displaying anything. Although we've put all this information in, it's not displaying anything. Now the reason that is the browser is looking for these tags. So it's looking for HTML tag and knows that that is an element within the HTML syntax, so it will not output anything. The only element that is not a tag on here, as you can see, is this index. Now this is the title tag of your document. So whatever you output into this, in between these two quotes, basically is what your page is about. It'll be displayed in the browser as well. I'll do is I'll quickly change this here. So if we just change this to the basic HTML tutorial, save that and then go back to the browser and refresh, you'll see here on the tab, this is now changed to what we set in the title tag. Now different browsers will do this in different ways, display it in different ways. What I'll quickly do for you, an example is we'll quickly open it in Safari. So in Safari you can see there it's across the top of the browser. That's how it's displayed within Safari. Again, we can open it with Firefox. You can see here it's both at the top and as a tab name, so it's really doing both of the areas which Safari does and which Chrome does. But you can see where the title tag is being displayed. And the title tag is quite important to the document. It's telling your users what your document is about. It's telling the search engines what your document is about. So it's a very important element in HTML. So that is the title tag. What we'll do is we'll move on and we'll start adding some elements to our body. So the first thing I want to add is the H1 tag. We can quite easily shortcut it within TextMate by just putting H1 and tab. And then within here we'll put the basic HTML tutorial. Now again, TextMate is quite clever. As you can see, whatever we type there, TextMate is put into the ID, but we don't need this for this tutorial. So I'm just going to remove that, save it. If we go across to the browser and refresh, you can see that the browser has output. It's recognized this as a H1, as a header tag, and it's made it quite bold and quite large font. The H1 tag is obviously very important to the document. This is where you want to output what your document is about to your users. The H tags, there are 6 levels of H tags and it goes in hierarchical order. So the first one is H2. Now if we were to copy this, put it as a H2 tag, let's quickly do that, save it and go across, you'll see that it's output at a smaller size. So the browser recognizes straight away that the header tags should be hierarchical, so it gives more prominence to the higher the number. And the next one, probably the most common tag you'll use, is the paragraph tag. Again, you can type it out quite easily by doing that. Now, the paragraph tag speaks for itself. Basically, you're outputting a paragraph of text. So, now if you save it and go across output, very basic text in a paragraph sort of styling. The paragraph you'll use quite a lot. If you're putting text onto your site, then everything really will go into the paragraph tag, unless you're doing something like a list, which we'll do next. So if we just quickly go across and do a H2. And on this one we just quickly put in what you have learned, and as we go along we'll just populate this list with what we're learning. Then what we'll do is a UL for unordered list. There are 2 different list types. You've got unordered list and you've got ordered list. Ordered list is if you've got numbered sections or something where it's in alphabetical order, then you use an ordered list. Anything else you normally use the unordered list. So what we'll do is within here we will put title tag. Now, when we go to the browser, there's something going to happen which you'll probably not expect. You can see there, it's actually not give us anything from that title tag. Now, the reason being, what we are doing is we are adding another tag. So as you can see, it's coloured blue within the text editor to show you that it's actually a tag that you're doing. There are some characters that we can't use direct for this reason. As you can see, the greater than and the less than sign. If you put that a word between those two, then it'll believe it's a HTML tag, so it won't output anything. So what we need to do is we need to use the HTML characters, which is the less than and the greater than signs. Now, if you go on to any browser and just do a quick search for HTML characters, you'll be able to get a list of all these characters. Some you can reference like this, where it's LT for less than, and others you'll need to find out what the numbered code is. If we save that now and then go back to the browser and refresh and see there, it's give us the title tag as we would expect to have seen it. So we've learned about the title tag. We've quickly just touched on HTML characters. We've learnt about the HTML document structure, which is your HTML. Within there you've got your head tag, and then within after your head tag you've got your body tag. That is your HTML document structure. We've learned about basic HTML elements. So what we mean by that is your P tag, your H tag, your UL, and your LI. I've not said what LI is. LI is just basically a list item. So within your unordered list, every item that you want to display would be a LI, which is a list item. So if you just quickly refresh this, we'll see that we've quickly built up a list here underneath. Now, as default, the browsers will put a little bullet point on any list. You can remove it using a bit of styling, but that's not something we'll do in this one. So next thing we will do, I think what we'll do is we'll add a quick image here, shall we? So if we go down, if we just quickly cheat using the text editor, we've got an image tag. Now, as with most tags, you'll see we have a starting tag, so we've got a H1 and then we end the H1, so it's /H1. That tells the browser where that tag ends. Now, some elements like an image, you will not have a closing tag. You're basically referencing all the details within the tag itself, so there's no need to close the tag. So what we have here is we've got a source. Now the source is where the file is that we want to use against the current document. Now what we do is just add this in, so it's Macsi web design logo.png, and that will be our source. If we save it now and go across to the browser, we'll see we've got our logo nicely positioned there. If the Macsi web design logo was in a folder, then we have to reference it relatively. What I'll do is a quick example. We'll just add a image folder, and then we'll drag this into our image folder. If we save document and go across, we'll see that we get this little icon here. It depends on the browser you're using. You might get a little blue cross if it's in Explorer. That basically means that the browser is trying to reference the image, but it can't find it. So what we have to do is we have to relatively index that file. So if we change that and put the image in, you'll see that quite nicely pops back up into the browser. So whenever you're doing anything that's a reference, or on here you've got a source, and other ones you'll have a href for some of the title tags. You always index, so you're always looking at the file in a relative format. The second tag we have in our image is the alt tag. Now this is anyone who is using a screen reader, they won't see the image, so the alt tag will tell the user what the image is about. So whatever you put in here is what your image is about. So if we put in here Macsi website design logo, see if we go to the browser and do something, it won't actually do anything. But if we inspect the element within it, you can see that the alt tag is there. So for somebody using a screen reader, it will output it there. There is another element which the document is not added, which we can add, which is called the title. Now if we just do the same again there, Macsi website. Now what the title tag will do, when we hover over the image, it will tell us whatever's in the title tag, so that will tell us that's the Macsi website design logo. That's quite handy for some things. If you've got an image which is clickable and takes you somewhere, you might want to put where that image will take you by using the title tag. Yeah, so that's that covered. So I'll put underneath here, we have learnt about adding an image with alt and title tag. Okay, I think our document's looking like a very basic website at the moment. I think our document's looking like a very basic website at the moment. And that concludes this tutorial, and next we will show you the basics of CSS.